Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. I hope that you've been doing good. I want to start by saying that I'm sorry for taking so long since my last video. These past few weeks have been kind of hectic, and part of this delay is my fault, and I'll explain. Basically, if you didn't watch my last video, I made a build inspired by the city of Venice, which was a huge build and very time-consuming. And after that, I thought that I should do a smaller build just to balance things out. Well, I don't know what happened, but I ended up in another 64 by 64 lot. I don't know, I just stumbled on it while I was loading the game. No, but jokes aside, I was inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest, and I will link the images in the description if you're interested in taking a look at them. But yeah, because I was inspired in those pictures, I wanted to build this right away. So, speaking of what we're seeing or what we're about to see in the speed build, we are building a small kingdom. And I say small with some quotation marks because it's a big lot, although it didn't feel like it sometimes. But yeah, in terms of being a kingdom, it's quite small, right? And I called it the CHECKMATE Kingdom because I kind of created this story, like a background historical story for this place. So if you're a lore person, if you like lore, buckle in. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I thought about this kingdom. Basically, this city used to be a kingdom many years ago, and so, similar to what happened in real life, this soon-to-be king needed to get married and start his family line. So, he had an arranged marriage by his parents, who were king and queen of another city, but this prince, who was now king of this kingdom, and his wife, the queen, they had this relationship of mutual respect because they didn't know each other before the marriage. However, with time, they grew fond of each other and they realized they had a lot in common. And one of the things that they had in common was that they were monarchs who had little interest in governing, or rather, they didn't like the way monarchy operated, which consisted in them having a lot of fortune and having subordinates and people under them living poorly. And if you look at the build, basically the castle will be on top. So it also plays with that idea of the castle being on top and everyone living under. So not just figuratively, but also literally. And I think this is something that happened in a lot of places in real history. But yeah, basically they were against this idea of unmeasured wealth and power, and they didn't want to brood this kind of behavior. So this is also why they ordered their castle to be small, as we will see later in the build. And you know, small when compared to regular castles or palaces. And this whole idea was frowned upon by the king's parents, of course. But anyway, the king and the queen of this place, they liked connecting with people in town, and in my head, they liked spending time in the city center, getting to know the people, and maintaining good relationships with them, and attending affairs of all sorts of nature. As time went on, they never had any children. Because they had no desire to. Even though they felt this pressure of assuring the lineage, they knew that it wasn't what they wanted to achieve. They didn't want to have kids, so they were more interested in guaranteeing the quality of life of the city folk, and that is why they never had any children, so basically they didn't want to. However, I think that I imagine that they had dogs, just because royal families usually had dogs to go hunting and such. But yeah, Of course, all of this was seen disastrous by the king's father and also by other kings, other places. And this king and this queen, they died, leaving no heirs to the throne, which basically ended the monarchy there, at least in this place. And it was a short-lived kingdom when you think about history, and how history is, talks about a huge amount of time. Of course, they lived their whole lives there, and it wasn't short for them, but it's shortened when you speak of history. And I imagine that this idea that it's such a short kingdom was mocked by other people, by other kings, because all of them wanted to rule and have more land to rule and have power. But I also think that maybe it was praised by a lot of people. But the truth is that despite having this, I would say, unworthy fame, not unworthy, unrequited, the truth is that this king and this queen were loved deeply by the people that lived there, because the people liked the humanity that they showed and the way that they just didn't demand anyone to bow before them. So yeah, an unconventional king and queen for an unconventional kingdom. I think it makes sense. But yeah, as I said, they died, leaving no heirs, and the people in the town continued living normally, right? Without the need of a king and a queen. And the town evolved through time to what it is today. So basically what I'm building in this speed build is what I would call today. And that is a historical village, with the castle having been transformed into a museum, and with some locals who run, quote unquote, run the place, who just love being from this village and are really proud of their history. And I imagine that they make sure that the people who visit this village know what the story is about and what the truth about this kingdom is. So for the name itself, the Checkmate Kingdom, I imagined people refer to this period of time when they were ruling as the Checkmate Kingdom, because I will explain. Checkmate, basically, in a game of chess, is when the king cannot move, meaning that it's the end of the game and the king loses. The word checkmate comes from a Persian expression, samat, and I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. Please correct me if I am. But basically, that expression means the king is helpless. And, I saw a metaphorical parallel with the story I created. So that is why I called it the Checkmate Kingdom, because the king and the queen were the beginning and the end of this kingdom. Again, this is how their reign was seen, as helpless, but as the stories from the locals tell, they couldn't have been happier with the way that they lived their lives. So yeah, I hope you like this deep dive in the world I created in my mind. And we already can see the castle there. It's not huge. It's fairly sized. It has a tower with 4 levels, but it's not a castle like you would have seen in other regions. And I like this idea of having a place with history and see what it has been turned into on the present day. And speaking of, let's now speak about the build more concrete terms. This build has a total of 5 livable units. It has a library, which I imagine was a church back then that has been turned into a library. It also has a retail shop, a pub, and an antiques shop. Oh, and also it has a tiny community space with some activity tables, which is next to the lighthouse, that little box. I didn't know exactly what to make of it, so I just turned into a community space with some activities for the Sims to do. And unlike my last build, everything is furnished in here, so yay. And that's one of the reasons why it took me a while to do this build. I wanted there to be detail and intricate elements that build on this fantasy or on this story that I told you about this place. There are also a few Easter eggs with possible lore plots, if that's something you're interested in. One of them being this kind of hidden ladder that goes down from the castle and into the rocks. And another one is a wishing well in the bottom of the ravine with like a forbidden sign next to it. So I won't tell you what those things are to me because I think I should leave that up to you guys if you feel like playing in this slot or with these stories. And obviously you can just scratch everything I told you about this build and make up your own. That's the beauty of The Sims, you can make anything your own. But yeah, as you can see, this build is heavy on terrain manipulation and also landscaping. A lot of it I end up not showing just because it is a lot of similar footage and also because I got mad at the game. Yes, it's true. And I don't know if you know about this, but there is a bug in the game that I have experienced a few times, actually. And basically the bug is, if you enter build mode from live mode, meaning you are playing with the family and access build mode, then it breaks build mode sometimes. If you access build mode from the map view, so without entering live mode, then the bug doesn't happen. And the bug that I'm talking about is that you simply cannot change anything. Like at some point, you can't change anything in the build. So you can't add or delete stuff, you can't undo or redo, and you can't even save the game. So imagine this, I am 30 to 40 minutes deep into landscaping when this bug happens because I forgot I had entered from live mode. So yeah, you guessed it, all my progress was gone. And I was so disappointed that we still get bugs like this in the game. And I know I should have known better because I wasn't saving along or as I went along. But it still shouldn't happen in my opinion. I was just so focused on landscaping because, as I've said in other videos, it's some of my favorite things. However, having to do everything again, especially after like such a long time, that I wasn't happy with. But yeah, after that I was so disappointed that I just left the game for a couple of days and I came back to it with a clear mind, and then I did everything again. And that is also why, or that could also explain why the build in the speed build may look different from the final build, because I didn't record the landscaping again. But yeah, before we dive into these two twin houses, I just want to mention that I end up deleting the lighthouse and I replace it with a debug item just because it looked more real in my opinion. So these two twin houses, which are on the right of the lot, I go for this sort of nautical beach vibe look, but not too heavy. I use a lot of dark blues in this left one, and it took me a while to figure out the floor plan because I was struggling with the placement of the stairs and also adding a bathroom. So we do a 1x3 bathroom in this one, but on the other one we do a regular bathroom. And as I said, a lot of dark blues, and that's not something that I usually go for. However, I love the wallpapers here. I love the colors, the deep colors. And I was surprised that I could fit a dining area-ish there. And then the bathroom has a lot of the same colors. And I kind of did both builds at the same time. This is the second one. And it has some softer blues. So it has this, like the fridge, it has this baby blue color, or this pastel blue. And it's a little bit bigger than the other one. So it has this 4-seater, it has a bigger couch, but both have TVs, you know. And one of the differences is that the one on the left has a desk with a computer. And I think that's something that this one does not have. But yeah, different priorities, different households. And I thought this table, this center table, was perfect because it looks like it has some cords on the sides. And that's so nautical to me. And we use these shelves. We do an open shelf concept, and we clutter it a lot. That's something that I wanted to do in this build. So not just keep it very bare. I wanted it to look real and sometimes lived in. So we add some clutter and just make it look nicer all around. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention is that I was playing and I was thinking, we have so many objects in the game now. Sometimes it's so difficult to sort through what we want to do. And I think it's also because I most of the time have debug and live edit checked on, because I have some mods by Twisted Maxi. I have Better Build By and the tool mod. Of course, I used a lot of tool mod in this build. But yeah, there's just so many items, and I was thinking, I wish we had a way to like favorite items in the game, so you could access items that you know you like and you know you have in a separate folder, so you could access instantly. And I searched on Google, and actually Better Build By, which is the tool the mod that I was mentioning, by Twisted Maxi, actually has that feature. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, thank you so much, you lifesaver. And basically, if you have this mod, or if you want to get this mod, you can favorite items by clicking on your wheel of the mouse. I'm not sure what it's called. But yeah, and then on the drop-down menu in the items, there's a new category called favorites. So you can go there and all of your favorited items will be there. It's such a game changer. I have to go through the catalog and just put some things in my favorites, because it's gonna save me so much time in the future. Like, there are some plants that I have to sit for 5 minutes until I can see them, you know. I don't know if anyone can relate to this experience, but it's frustrating sometimes, and I feel like this mod will just save me a ton of time now. I mean, I already had the mod, but I wasn't aware that it did that, so always read your patch notes, kids. But yeah, I turned this into like some artsy people houses by adding like a computer, an easel, and just to give the Sims also something to do, some skills. And this is the pub. It was my first time making a pub, and I have been to like 1 or 2 pubs in my whole life, and the vibes I get from them are these very dungy places, these cave-like places, which I like. It's not a criticism. I like the aesthetic, and I wanted to bring that cave-like sensation to this unit. And something that I also have in mind, I'm not sure if this is true for a lot of pubs, but is that they have a bunch of pictures up. And I also added those that have like sports shirts, because it makes sense to me, because I think they watch a lot of football in pubs. So yeah, I just placed a lot of paintings, and I didn't do anything else too crazy in this build. I placed some bottles because I wanted to make sure that the Sims could route through it and just enjoy the space and get together. And this building here ends up being the clothes or the retail shop. And I also add a few items that make it look like it's a place where you can also, like, I'm not sure how you say it in English, but where you fix your clothes, like get your pants checked, I don't know. But yeah, basically you can go to the seamstress here, is that how you say it? And yeah, just a 2-in-1, because I think a lot of places do that. You can buy clothes and you can also get them tailored. That's the word I was looking for. And I struggled for the longest time with this one. I think it's probably my least favorite of the whole build, because I struggled with the colors. I didn't know if I wanted to make it more modern or not. I think we end up going for more of a modern look with some hints of just old aspects of the build, but mostly modern in my opinion. And we have this first floor, or the ground floor, which is just where you pay, where you can try clothes on. The second floor is the main floor with the clothing you can buy. And then the third one is where you have items on sale and also some accessories, makeup, perfume and stuff like that. We will see a little bit later. Here I'm just placing down clutter that I know I will want to use later for this third level. Just to have this sort of space where you can do not just one thing, but many different things. So a multi-purpose lot is really good. I mean, in The Sims it's just a retail store, but it's nice to think it can be more than that. So yeah, we put a lot of shoes there, and we also place some ottomans, so you can, or the Sims can try the shoes on. We also include some magazines, just imagining that if your partner is accompanying you, then they can just sit there while you shop. Or the other way around, you can sit there while your partner shops. Or you shop. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think we're wrapping up this part here. We just placed these pictures up to identify that this space is for jewelry and beauty products and stuff like that. And after that, we move on to the antiques shop. So I think this ends up being my favorite in the whole build. And I will actually not show the full process, because I prefer it if it is a surprise. So instead of showing you the whole process of it, I think we should actually just jump into the game and check out what the build looks like in the end. Here we are in the final build. If you're wondering, I do have reshade on because I thought it would give this old look, which fits the vibe of the build. Yeah, this is what it looks like in the end. There's a lot of greenery all around. And just for reference, this is what it looks like without the reshade on. So I imagine that you get through water to go to this village. We have the boat here, and let's pretend we come from this boat here, and we can check already the center of town. Here to the right, we have the community space that I was talking about. So let's go in. It's fairly simple, but it has some tools that your sim can use just to improve some skills, and I think it's a handy thing to have, and it's not inside your house, so that's a plus to me. Then back outside, over here we have some community planters, and I think we can already check these two out. Let's start with this one on the left. So a lot of dark blues here, as we saw in the speed build, but I think it ends up being cozy. Let's check the bathroom quickly. So it's a 3x1, as I mentioned. It's a squeeze, but it's functional. And then we can check this back area here. I added a grill and some chairs so you can have people coming over. And then back in, we can check upstairs. So it leads directly into the bedroom. So you have the bed there, and you have this desk with a computer, you have a tablet there, and you also have an additional balcony here. When you go out, you have another planter, and you have this cool view in the center of the village. Now back outside, we can check out the second one of the twins. Oh, that was not meant to be there. Oh my god. Okay, now without uninvited guests, this is the second one. It has some more of light blues instead of dark blues. It's just a lighter color that I think is more inviting personally. I like the simplicity of the shelves. And then if we go up, we have two doors. So to the left, we have the bathroom. So it's way bigger than the other one. Has everything you need. Then we can go check this area here. I imagine this person likes painting. They like art. And then checking this bedroom, we have again soft colors. We have some warm light. I think it's good to have warm lighting in the bedroom. This mirror here, I'm not sure if you remember in the speed build, it's actually a full-length mirror, but I rotated it with the tool mod to make it horizontal, and that's a really cool hack that I use sometimes, and I recommend it because we don't have a lot of simple mirrors like this in the game, and this just adds a nice touch. It's simple and it's exactly what I wanted. So yeah, that's the two twin builds. Let me know which one you prefer, or if you don't want to pick, that's also fine. But I think we can move on and check the pub. We have a sitting area here, and then once we go in, we are greeted by this fireplace and these paintings that go all around almost. And of course we have the bar, we have already some bottles and glasses. And yeah, I think it's simple, but it has a lot of character because of all these paintings, and it just seems to be well lived and loved. Back outside again, we can go through this alley, and we arrive at another unit. This one has 3 levels, and let's just get into it. This is what it looks like. It's very traditional, I would say. I was going for that vibe in here. We have the dining area here. We have the living here with no TV. And then through this arch, we have the kitchen. I wanted it to be old looking, but also not just a boring brown kitchen. So we went for this green. I like it. I think it looks cozy. Through this door, we have the first bathroom. So it's very old looking, but of course it has everything you would need. Then out again, and we can go through this corridor upstairs. And right here we have 3 doors. Let's check out this first one. So we have a blue bedroom, has a different vibe from downstairs. It's just a cooler bedroom, I imagine, for a teenager. Let's go out again and check the second one. So down the hallway we go through this door and we have this reddish bedroom. I thought it would be good also for another kid or another teenager. This person clearly loves dogs. Yeah, if we go out onto the last door, we get to the bathroom, similar to the one downstairs. Going out again, we have another flight of stairs to the last level, and we have just a piano here for the music lovers. We have 3 doors, so this one here is a bathroom similar to the others. Then over here we have another bedroom, so this one is very orangey and brown. I thought it was so cool to add this lock on the wall. Then out again we can check the last room, which is not a bedroom, but it's a study room. So very classic looking, has has a typewriter, and I think it's cozy. It's perfect for reading and just working on something. But yeah, that is one of the units that we haven't seen yet. I would like to know in the end which one is your favorite. And we are going to be checking another unit now. This one is way smaller, but it's also traditional looking. And in my mind, this is a house that's been passed down to a young couple that have a toddler or a soon-to-be toddler. So this is the kitchen, very dated appliances, but you know, has everything you need functioning. Through this door, we have a bathroom which has a toddler potty and also a bathtub to give your toddler a bath. And it has a few toys scattered around there as well. And it has this really old TV. Yeah, it's a small place, but it's a good starting point. Then we go up, we only have one door here to the right, and we have the parents' bedroom. It has this yellow and purple color scheme, which is not something I would pair often, but it made sense when I was doing it. Through this arch, we have actually the toddler space. So I kept it simple because it's also small, but it has everything you should need for the toddler. And as the baby grows older, maybe you could expand or you could move out. But I like to think that they turn maybe this walk-in closet into the space for a baby, which I think is very, very cute of them to accommodate their needs. Yeah, simple house. Let's go outside again and we can check the retail store. As you go in, we have some pastel colors. We have the checkout counter here with a few books and stuff you can buy. Fortunately, we still have that glitch. Over here, we have maybe some vintage pieces. To either side, we have these trying spaces to try clothes on. So very small. The other one is the same. Then if we go up, we have to the right these clothes on display with some shoes and accessories, some more shoes. And here we have a place where you can just sit. And then we have some more displays with clothes. I put them on these angles because I thought they made it more interesting and easier to browse. And then through here, we go on to the last floor, which is where the sales are. So these items I assume would be on sale. You can go around, there's another seating area. And here would be the accessories, the makeup, the perfumes, all that good stuff you would find here. So yeah, that's the first part of the build toured. We still have these two, the library and also the castle/museum. So let's check out the antique store first. And as I said, it's probably the one I'm most excited about. So right as we go in, we have this table with some antique stuff, and this place has a lot of items. So I've been to some antique shops and they look like this, you know, overcrowded with stuff. Over here, we have some desk lamps. We also have some wall and some ceiling lamps. I love visiting these places because they have a mixture of everything vintage. And I thought it would be so cool to do that in The Sims and just let it go and add stuff. So yeah, as you know by now, I like to clutter spaces. Yeah, we have some more things here that you can purchase. If we go up, we already have a wall gallery here. We have a bunch of mirrors to the right. We have some furniture here. You have another table with some antiques. We even have some jukeboxes, a lot of paintings, and even an old camera. I love this place because it's so cluttered and it was so much fun to build. It's probably my favorite in the whole build, to be honest. But going out into another unit, this one is a total break from what we just saw. So this one is very contemporary, very neutral, very simple and minimal. And honestly, I think this is the style that I'm more comfortable with, or at least the one that comes more naturally to me. I don't have to wonder if it looks good or not. I just know what I like. This is the small bathroom, very simple. But yeah, this unit also has 3 levels. So on the second one, we have this sort of office space. I imagine a young couple lives here and maybe they both work from home. They can be like interior designers or writers. And so they opted to have the second level as an office space instead of just having more bedrooms. So this unit has 1 bedroom upstairs, which is their bedroom. As you can see, I left it very, very simple. I wanted it to be like this sanctuary where they could just relax. I have a wardrobe there here, some paintings. And through here we have just another bathroom with this tub and a view. Thought that would be really cool. But yeah, it's really simple and I like this style. So out again, we can go through these stairs up into the library. So we can walk in through this door. And as we go in, we can already see a bunch of tables. Some of them have computers. Some of them are just free for your Sims to use. And I decided not to clutter this part as much, but I wanted to keep that feel that it's an old place, as I imagine this used to be a church, but has been turned into a library for the people that live in this town. And then my favorite part from this build is we come down here to the tower and we have these huge bookcases that go up. We have a ladder here. We have this huge skylight that looks down. And we have this table where a lot of people can just be working at the same time. And I thought that was a cool addition. And it makes me think of dark academia and movies where people just study together. And I think it's just warm. We also have a chess table there. And if we go through this door, we check the outside area, which has a bench. It has this amazing huge tree. And I think this would be a really good place to maybe have a date or just read. Then we only have one thing left to see, which you already know what it is. We go up the hill to these stairs, which lead to the castle. As I said, it's not a huge castle. And since it's been turned into a museum, it's not crazy cluttered. I wanted it to be very bare and different from the rest of the build. So we go through the front doors. We already have these stairs. We are in the center of the house. So looking up, we have a huge chandelier, but let's check maybe to the left first. So we go in this corridor into the kitchen. So as I said, no big clutter. It's very simple. And if you think about it, it's move-in ready. So if you want to live in a small castle, this is your chance. Going out into the hall, we have a chair here, and then we go down and access the dining area. I thought that the king and queen wanted to have, instead of a throne room, they wanted to have just a huge dining area where they could receive people and host. Maybe that's something that they love doing. So we have another skylight here. And these things on the wall, they are just rugs that I rotated with the tool mod, and they look like tapestries. I also included these portraits by the entrance because I thought they could be the portraits of the king and the queen that lived here. And now we can go up the stairs. As I said, not a big build, but through here we can actually see through this little window who is at dinner. So it's like a peephole. And then through the other side we can do the same thing, but look down into the kitchen. Then if we go upstairs, we have this semi-level, which you can access, and you actually get to the bathroom, which is very extravagant, very expensive looking. And I've never done such an expensive bathroom. I thought it was about time. If not in a castle, then when, right? A lot of gold details. And then if we go out and into the last floor, we get to their bedroom. So we have some paintings there. We have the bed. We also have another skylight. We have a sitting area, which I assume that the king and the queen would write letters on, and the fireplace. But yeah, I assume they wanted this space to be not very overbearing. And a lot of times in museums, I saw that they didn't have bedside tables. I feel like but yeah, I didn't include one, and I like the way it turned out. Now, just looking at some details, we have this thing on the beach here with a towel. We have a small boathouse. We have this sort of viewpoint. The back of the castle has this little area, which you can add more stuff to. And this is not my business. There are some spots here that make it look kind of magical almost. But yeah, let me know what you think of this build. I would love to know your thoughts. And also if you have any suggestions for future builds, I am all up for it. Let me know which one of all of these units is your favorite. I'm also really curious to know. I think mine is still the antique store, but I really like how each has its own vibe. If you're interested in downloading this build, my ID is CatsAgainstCrime. I will also leave that in the description. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.